Am I missing something? Pretty sure today is December 26th, right? Which means Christmas is officially over. We often get into giving moods during the holiday season. I know for me personally, I am more likely to give the bum hassling me at the gas pump a few dollars during Christmas than I am during any other time of the year. But once Christmas is over, it's back to business as usual, which is why I was incredibly confused, even dumbfounded, by what Mark Jackson told TMZ Sports earlier today. How many times do I have to explain this? I know Mark Jackson will never be confused with a genius like myself or a real genius like Elon Musk or Mark Cuban. I mean, this is the same dude that got duped out of thousands of dollars by a stripper. As a coach in the NBA, he couldn't figure out how to win with a young Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Have you ever listened to Mark Jackson during an NBA broadcast? I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but he's not the smartest guy in the room. Even with that being the case, Mark Jackson, he should know better than this. He played in the NBA for 17 years, coached in the league for 3 years. He should be familiar with how players' salaries are determined. The way players are paid in the NBA, the league splits revenue with the players 50-50. League revenue and profits go up, player salaries go up. If the NBA negotiates a multi-billion-dollar contract with TNT or ESPN ABC, the players receive half of that revenue generated. This is a pretty simple business concept. I would imagine the company that you guys work for operate with the same mentality. But no business in their right mind is going to continue losing money and then give their employees a raise. But that is exactly what Mark Jackson is demanding of the WNBA. This dude just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand. If someone shoved a camera in my face and started asking me questions on issues that I know absolutely nothing about, I would simply say, I don't know, or no comment. Mark Jackson, he bloviated for over 2 minutes, digging the hole of stupidity deeper and deeper. Now, I wish I could play this clip for you, but TMZ refuses to approve their clips under fair use. I refuse to give TMZ the money generated from this video, so I'm just going to have to transcribe this exchange for you. One of the paparazzi leeches from TMZ, they tracked down Mark Jackson in what looks to be like an airport. For some reason, the most interesting question that this dude could come up with dealt with the most uninteresting garbage in this country. Pretend basketball. This dude from TMZ, he said something to the effect of, the U.S. women's soccer team was able to steal money from the men's team in the name of equity. How come the men in the NBA won't do the same for their sisters in the WNBA? How in the hell do you think this league has survived for 26 years? It ain't off of hopes and dreams. If it weren't for the generous donations from the NBA, the WNBA would cease to exist. Back in the mid-90s, there were 2 female basketball leagues that were starting up around the same time. The ABL, the American Basketball League. This league featured actual women who knew how to play actual basketball. Then you had the WNBA, a league filled with 5 o'clock shadows and magicians showing off amazing tricks, like the ability to shoot a free throw and make it seem like it's going into the naked eye, only for it to be nothing but air. The American Basketball League lasted a total of 2 seasons. Why? They ran out of fucking money. They didn't have sympathy money flowing in from the NBA to keep them afloat. It is estimated that the NBA donates between $15 and $30 million every year to keep the incinerators running at the WNBA dump. Now let's just split the difference here and call it $20 million. Over the course of 26 years, the NBA has given the dump around $520 million. What have they received in return on their investment? Some of the worst basketball from uncoordinated, unathletic players, resulting in a loss of $260 million. But that gigantic loss, it doesn't matter to Mark Jackson. No. According to Mark Jackson, WNBA players should be given higher salaries. Why? Because they deserve it. There's that word again, deserve. This goes right back to the victim mentality of being owed something. WNBA trash engineers believe since they pick up your garbage on Monday and Thursday morning, they should be paid millions of dollars. They really believe because they play pretend basketball for a living and do their best to emulate YMCA basketball that they are entitled to make more money. Never mind the fact these women are vastly overpaid. If salaries in the WNBA were based on the market value of the players, they would receive an invoice every 2 weeks. Now, I'm sure most of you guys play in pickup basketball leagues. Now, I would imagine you had to pay an entry fee to join the team. You know why you're paying to play basketball instead of being paid to play? You're not good enough. No one is willing to pay to watch you play basketball. You're playing for fun. It's a hobby. It's no different in the WNBA. These women are essentially playing for fun. This ain't a career, it's a hobby. If you remove the 2021 season when Fauci was spreading his fungus across America, causing WNBA dumps to limit live attendance to only a handful of people instead of the usual dozen who are willing to pay. Attendance in the 2022 regular season, lowest in the history of the league. The WNBA averaged 5,700 a game, and that's paid attendance. That includes sympathetic corporations who buy sections in the dump but can't find anyone willing to accept free tickets to actually go see the game. If I had to guess, actual gate attendance, live attendance, less than 4,000 a game. Go look back at highlights from this past WNBA season. Joy Reid has more wigs in her studio than asses filling seats at a WNBA game. Now, to Mark Jackson's credit, he did say that sympathy donations from the NBA is not the answer. He does not support a system similar to what we see in soccer where the men generate all the money and people like Megan Rapinoe receive money for doing nothing. He said we need to find ways to increase revenue for the WNBA. Well, no shit. If someone could figure out a way to increase revenue for this league, they would become a multi-billionaire. Many have tried, many have failed. Mark Jackson, he didn't offer any suggestions to increase revenue. He just said revenue needs to increase so the bearded beauties can be paid what they deserve. Again, there's that word, deserve. I did some research. I wanted to know what WNBA players deserve to be paid. Now, I know most of us, myself included, think dunk divers should be paid nothing because they don't generate profit. But under the current system, with donations from the NBA, donations from television networks who lose money airing this trash, what do WNBA players deserve to be paid? I actually found an interesting study that broke it down. Right now, the average WNBA player makes over $100,000 a year. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that seems like pretty good money to airball layups. Have you ever seen me on a basketball court? I can airball layups with the best of them. Put me on the free throw line, I'll go 2 for 2, nothing but air. Maybe I should sign up to play in the WNBA. I mean, I already checked one of the woke boxes, male and a female league. If WNBA players were paid on their true market value, the average salary would be $3,000 a year. $3,000. In other words, the greeter at Walmart has more economic value than the average WNBA player. Mark Jackson closed his comments by saying the WNBA should give their players equal revenue sharing just like they do in the NBA. He said something to the effect of, quit relying on outside revenue, quit relying on the NBA, give the players equal revenue sharing so they won't have to travel overseas to play basketball. They can continue entertaining handfuls of people playing pretend basketball here in America. Recently, one dump diver came out and said that she makes more money in 1 month in Russia than she makes all season in the WNBA. You want to know why? Women's basketball leagues overseas are generating hundreds of millions of dollars. The WNBA last season, $53 million. $53 million. The company I used to work for, it was a small family-owned company, have around 100 employees across 5 or 6 states. That small company generates over $60 million a year in revenue. The WNBA, with hundreds, maybe even thousands of employees, generates $7 million less with a hell of a lot more overhead. I happen to agree with Mark Jackson. 3 years ago, Kathy Engelbert acquiesced to player demands, damn near doubling salaries across the league. I say let's do it again. Give the players what they want. Give them equal revenue sharing. Give them revenue from merchandise sales. Give them revenue from television deals. Hell, if the homeless man rents a cardboard box in the dump for the weekend, share that revenue with the players too. Go ahead and give them half of everything. I'm being serious. I want to see this happen because in 2 years, you won't hear WNBA players complaining about salaries. You won't hear them complaining about riding the Greyhound bus to games instead of flying on the single-engine Cessna. In 2 years, you wouldn't hear anything at all from the WNBA because it wouldn't exist. These entitled women are going to demand themselves right out of business. Kathy Engelbert, she is resisting the 50-50 revenue split. She knows it would end the league, but I say let them do it. Have the NBA stop donating money. Let's give these women what they want and then see how long they would survive. But give me your thoughts. Mark Jackson, he is the latest to jump on the bandwagon of WNBA players being underpaid and being paid what they deserve. I say give them split revenue sharing and let them destroy themselves. What do you say? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, kc_btl84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.